Alright, it's Brother Peter with tidbits from the Word. We're talking about living a holy life. We were talking about kicking off with Psalm 23. We were talking about saying, the Lord is my shepherd. Now, you discovered that if you took a page and wrote down the Lord, you find out who the Lord is. He's the creator of the earth. He is the one that was before. He said, I am the Alpha and I am the Omega. I am the beginning and I am the end. And I'm everything in between. And then if we look at the book of Ecclesiastes, the ecclesiastical man says, is there anything new under the sun? No, there isn't. There's nothing new under the sun. Everything that has been around, will come around. Now, Jesus said, God said, I know the end from the beginning. He said, I have chosen you. You say, God, you chose me? I had a life. I had a terrible life. I had a life. I was alcoholic. I did everything under the sun. I was the worst guy on the earth, scum of the earth, and I was, by the way. And you know something? This physical body still is. This physical body still has to fight the flesh, still has to fight the desire to do wrong, to do foolishness, rather than to do what is spiritual. Now, if you're going to live a holy life, you're going to have to find out who God is. And then God is, look, back again, here we go back again to Psalm 23. Like I say, everybody in the world can quote it, but how many people know it, can really live it? If you're going to live it, you need to learn something every day. You learn something every day. I just pulled this piece of tie right here. There's a little flap right here in this tie, and I just pulled this piece of tie right here that was hanging out. I just pulled it in right there and put it. My daddy taught me when I was growing up to tuck my piece of tie in my shirt. Well, one day I was talking with a friend of mine, and he said, you know that little flap, Pete? Put your piece of tie in that little flap. It works good. It keeps it behind it. So I learned something. I'm telling you that right now to tell you this. There's something to be learned every single day. You can go on a job. I was on a job yesterday, and I like to stick my hands in somebody else's work. And my boy was working for this man, and he said, Dad, that man does not like you to tell him anything or show him anything. He wants to do it the way he's doing it, and that's it. He doesn't want any advice or any help. Well, that's okay. But I found out that an idiot could walk up on the job and show you something you don't know. If you'll be open to it, you don't have to know it. And there are some things I've learned with a saw, and the Lord has blessed me. I'm not a carpenter, but the Lord has blessed me with some shortcuts that work, that I could show even professional carpenters. I see them doing things the way they do them, and I say, well, the Lord showed me something different. I'm not a professional carpenter, but I know how to do that quicker and easier, and without going through a whole lot of to-do about it. Just do it. And so there are things that you can learn. Now, spiritually speaking, there are things you can learn. I'm not a college degree person. I'm an everyday lay person, lay preacher who has got in the Bible for 40 years, studied the Bible, or try to live the Bible, live what God would have me live, get up in the morning, do what God would have me do, follow through the day and do what God would have me do. And that's what you need to do. Now let's get back into talking about a holy living. Holy living is knowing what is holy. Now God is holy. That's it, period. And nothing's holy other than God or what is godly. Now that's holy. Now, this shepherd that we have, that we're talking about, the Lord is my shepherd. Is he your shepherd? Is he your shepherd? Is he your shepherd? If you're standing in a store with your mother and father and you want a candy bar, you do not turn around and ask the person beside them, can I have a candy bar? Wouldn't that be foolish? That person look at you like, can you have a candy bar? What's the matter with you? You dumb or something? No, You look at your mother or your father and you say, can I have a candy bar? And what your mother or father says is what happens. And that's the way it is with God. We have people today who claim they are God's child, and they're asking the world on a daily basis, what should I do? They get up in the morning and they're trying to figure something out. They get the first thing they do is get on the phone and they start texting or talking on the phone. What should I do talking to somebody else? Well, that advice is not necessarily coming from God. If you're calling a preacher and asking him about something, about spiritually or something, that's different. But if you're talking about the things of the world, why not get on your knees and ask God, what shall I do? And then wait on an answer. You know, too many of us are too quick. You say of us. You say yourself included, brother, but yeah, I'm included. To say a prayer, say, God, help me do this or that, or help me, show me this way or that way, and then jump right into it and don't involve the Lord in it. No, you got to involve the Lord in everything you do. And I'm asking the Lord today to direct my path, to lead me, guide me, keep me safe. We're fixing to work scaffold work today up in the air, and it's dangerous. And we could get hurt, but we don't want to get hurt. So we're going to ask the Lord today for protection. Why am I on this machine this morning? I'm on this machine this morning because this is where my solace is. I need to be here and do what God would have me do first thing, so that when the second thing comes along, he'll bless it. He said, you put me first and I'll bless everything you do afterwards. And that's what I'm looking for, the blessing of God today. The blessing of my shepherd today. I am going to walk spiritually today. And that's what we're talking about, walking spiritually. Now, back in the book, he said, to earnestly contend for the faith. Earnestly contend for the faith. And that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to earnestly contend for the faith. Let's get back into our the 23rd Psalm. The Lord. And we put a page down about the Lord. Now, we put a page down about the shepherd. Now, he is my shepherd. I shall not want. Those 3 words, I shall not want. 4 words. Let's look at those. What do we not want? Well, before I got saved, I wanted alcohol on a daily basis starting in the morning. Before I got saved, I had to have a cigarette. I absolutely had to have. I mean, I could not draw a breath without a cigarette. And I wanted a cigarette on a continual basis. I could not open my mouth without lying. I wanted to lie. I wanted my life to be a lie, and it was a lie, and I lived a lie. And I wanted the things of the world. I wanted to please this flesh. In pleasing this flesh, I displeased it. In pleasing the flesh, I displeased it. How you say that, Brother Peter? What do you mean? Well, I drank all I wanted to drink. I got drunk and I paid the fines in jail. I paid the driving fines for drinking driving. Paid the fines at the jailhouse for doing this or that, and had to do this and that. I paid dearly for what I drank with the actions of this body. What I did was against everybody else and everything else, and I paid for it. And so, well, I wanted to smoke. Yeah, man, I had to have that cigarette. Well, my lungs said, that my lungs told me that, they weren't designed for cigarette smoke. They were not designed to have to filter and do the work that I'm causing them to have to do. I could work in a coal mine and be safer than I could puffing as many cigarettes as I smoke to please the flesh. Now I want to please the Spirit. If I were to eat as much Bible as I smoked cigarettes, I would have to eat 4 or 5 chapters a day of the Bible. Now, where is your desire? Can you prove to yourself that you are walking spiritually? We're talking about walking spiritually. Can you prove to yourself that you are following God? Can you prove the Lord is your shepherd? Can you prove that you shall not want the things of the world? Can you prove that? How many hours do you sit in front of the TV a day? And I'm guilty. I am guilty of sin right here, folks. I'm guilty. If I sat down in front of that TV, it will rob me of an hour Before I even know an hour went by, bam! An hour sitting in front of a television watching a heathen program I got no business soaking into my mind or my life. Alright, here we are back again, walking a spiritual life. Now I'm tell you this. First is the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. Let me tell you this, before you get up on a hillside in a green pasture, you have got to go through a valley. You got to go through a valley. And listen to me. Listen to me. Every 12 months, a sheep gets sheared. Every 12 months, a sheep gets sheared. And if you're one of God's sheep, you're going to have to go into the valley. You're going to have to be sheared. And when you come back up into the green pasture, you can come back new and afresh. But you got to be sheared. You got to take all that old dirty wool. By the way, in 12 months, a sheep gets dirty. He gets stinking. When you're cutting the wool off a sheep, it's some stinking stuff. It smells like the sweat of an underarm. A sheep gets dirty in 12 months, and we get dirty as Christians. Do you want to walk a spiritual life? Do you want to walk a Christian life? You need to be sheared. You need to shear the old world off you. Man, and you need to do it daily, but you need to at least once a year go through a good shearing and stop and take a look at yourself and say, what am I going to shear off this year? People call it at the end of the year a New Year's resolution. I'm talking about a spiritual resolution, not a New Year's resolution, but a new life resolution. Am I going to put this thing down and not do it anymore? It's the little bitty sin that will jump up and stand between you and doing right and doing what God would have you do. If you've got a little bitty sin between you and God says for you to do something, the devil's going to throw that little sin up there, and you're going to say, but God, I got this problem, this sin problem or whatever. I can't do that, and you won't function. So if you're going to walk a spiritual life, get rid of those little sins that you got in your life. I've got to go. Our time has come and gone. I'll see you next time. With all my love, spiritually speaking, Brother Peter.